First and foremost, I like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rokah, Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, the Ruel, and a sincere salutation to you, Akim, you Aquat, that believe in all sincerity. This lesson is going to be entitled, Thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed. Okay, you can find this line in Isaiah 36:6. Okay. And I want to speak on how our people, okay, Israelites, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, trust in this staff, okay, that is likened unto a broken reed. Now, when you go into the word staff, it says here, number 3, a long stick used as a support when walking or climbing, or as a weapon. And that's what people view America as, okay, a support, okay, something that they can, a crutch, okay, a crutch. People lean on America as if it was a crutch, okay? But the scriptures speak about a staff that is broken, okay? A broken reed. All right? It's like leaning on a broken crutch. And you know that if you lean on a broken crutch, you know, it's going to pierce you. Okay, this is more or less what it's speaking about. It says walking sticks because they use reeds because they were somewhat sturdy to walk with, you know, as a staff. You know, Lord willing, you're following me. Okay. Look at, Egypt was a broken staff of reed. Okay, it's like a reed, and a reed can be very strong, but if it's broken, it's going to pierce you, just like as you see here. And that's what people do. People lean on America as a crutch, okay, as if it was going to help you to walk or help you to climb, or, you know, you could use as a weapon, you know, like if America really had your back. And that's what I want to speak on. And this video is inspired by a conversation that I had with an individual. Okay, what does it say here? A broken reed does not make a good walking stick. You see? And basically the conversation, you know, it went south pretty fast, you know, because I was asked if I was gonna join the protest, and I said no. And and I had mentioned, hey, well, you know, roughly that I was glad that, you know, somebody was standing up to these to the ICE. And, you know, that basically sparked the whole conversation. It was somewhat of a back and forth. It wasn't too bad, but, you know, and we don't tell people to go and protest. We don't you know, tell people to riot or any of that. But the thing is that, you know, when is Jake gonna get out of the mind frame of waiting, okay, for America to save them? Okay, especially, you know, you Jakes, so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, you were actually brought here to serve slavery. Okay. This is the book of Deuteronomy 28, affectionately known as the curses. Okay. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 68. And Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Okay? Meaning no man shall save you. And no one has been able to save the Israelites, man.
Strong's H, 7069. Kana.
What does it say here? To get, acquire, create, buy, possess, to get, acquire, obtain. of the Most High originating, creating, redeeming his people. No one was able to redeem the Israelites but Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay? Is the only way we're going to get out of this scenario here. Okay? And America is likened unto Egypt. Okay? Because, we came by way of ships into America to serve slavery. Okay, so as we read here, and Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, okay, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. So, we were basically brought into captivity after, we got out of captivity in Egypt, and that's of a truth. This is how we know that we are the Israelites, because it's prophesied that we would go into Egypt again, by way of ships, and that's what happened to us, okay, in the slave trades. And we never saw our homeland. We never saw Israel again. The majority of Israelites. And we were sold unto our enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. Okay? And the Most High is the only one that's going to be able to redeem us. No man is able to liberate us out of the hand of this oppressor. Okay? Here in Egypt. Okay? This is spiritually Sodom and Egypt. Okay? For the Moism and for the slavery. And a lot of individuals that are not deep, okay, no knowledge of self, are very surface level, do not understand what these scriptures speak about, do not understand that we are still slaves, we're still oppressed, and you got a lot of arguments, you got a lot of mixed emotions, and people are easily swayed about how they feel about the protests, how they feel about America and ICE and Donald Trump, okay, and legislation, when just a couple years ago, decades ago, you was hanging on trees. You had chains about your neck, yokes of iron, so when we make comments like, hey, we're glad that people is rising up, is because that's the kind of spirit that we're in, because we're not supposed to be docile, we're not supposed to have another nation ruling over us. But yet we do, because we're serving slavery. And these devils are in their kingdom, man. Okay? And you got to be very careful what we say around these individuals, because they don't know where we're coming from. They don't see. They're saying that it's stupid for people to burn their own cities, which it is. Okay? It's not time. Okay? But is that going to happen? That most definitely. Most definitely, we're coming upon a time where America is going to be visited by Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and it's already happening. This is biblical prophecy, okay? Where it states that, basically, they shall not regard their kings or their princes, and the power of their actions shall stand in their own hands. And that's what people are that's the spirit that individuals are in. They're not caring about their local governments. They're not caring about Donald Trump. The people are rioting, looting, stealing, and whatever happens. People are sick and tired of America, to be honest. But you got individuals that have this American spirit, and the individual that I was speaking to is an ex-Marine. And not only that, he's an ex-con. So that's a oxymoron. People are confused. Like, how are you defending a country that took away your rights? Doesn't make sense, but hey, that's Jake for you. And these are Jakes. These are Jakes that are saying that they don't want to see somebody burn an American flag, or they're going to knock somebody out. Like, what America ever do for you? This is Isaiah 30:1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. And that's what these rebellious Israelites do. They take counsel, okay, but not the counsel of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai.
Strong's H 6098. Eitzah.
Right, the counsel, the advice, the purpose that They don't take the advice of Yahweh Bashim Moshe. Okay, they want to cover themselves with a covering, but not of the spirit of the Most High, that they may add sin to sin. And that's what America offers you. America offers you do as thou wilt. Okay, you know, the home of the land, the free and the brave, where you can pick and choose to do whatever you will. That's the spirit that is out here. But this is the spirit, you know, that worketh in the children of disobedience. Okay, up here it says rebellious children. It says that walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh. And that's what they do. They don't ask, you know, at the mouth of the Most High. And who's that? Those are the prophets. Here it is. The prophets are on the earth, and people, they don't take heed. The Lord always spoke by the mouth of his prophets since the world began. Okay? They strengthen themselves rather in the strength of Pharaoh. They rather listen to Pharaoh. They'll take you know, this American philosophy instead of the Lord's, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Yeah, they trust in what? Oppression. People trust in oppression. This country offers you oppression. This is slavery, straight up. But a lot of individuals don't see it like that. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. And that's what's going to happen. People are going to be ashamed that they trusted, okay, in America, in Donald Trump. And a lot of you individuals that voted for Donald Trump, what's the first thing he said he was going to do? Deport illegal immigrants. You know, so, you know, how does that go? Because a lot of you Israelites that voted for Donald Trump, you know, your parents or loved ones are illegal immigrants, man. And they're not asking you to come with them. They're taking you out the bathroom. That was a video that went viral that, if I'm not mistaken, a lady was in the restroom and ICE went up in there and snatched her up. I know, you know, many have seen the video of the cop that he, you know, spoke Spanish. You know, he was a Northern Kingdom, but he breaks the window and pulls this lady up out of her car. You got kids representing themselves in court. You got kids at the border in being detained. Okay, but these people, they voted for Donald Trump. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. And people are going to be confused when this devil starts to roll on you Jakes, on you so-called blacks, Latinos, you Native Americans. You're going to be confused. You're going to be like, what's going on? Because a lot of y'all are surface level. You're not deep, no knowledge of self, don't know, okay, what is what, don't care for biblical prophecy. We just read it. You cover with the covering, but not the spirit of the Lord, that you may add sin to sin. And it's all because Jake is a scoffer and walking after their own ungodly lust, which America provides. America allows it, allows perversion, allows evil and wickedness, because that's how the devil is. That's how these devils are. You know? Seven, for the Egyptians shall help in vain and to no purpose. Therefore have I cried concerning this, their strength is to sit still. Okay? And yeah, Egyptians shall help in vain. You know, it's like, and Donald Trump is taking away food stamps. He wants you to get a drug test. You know, he wants you to, you know, work 32 hours minimum. It's Mando. They're cutting food stamps. Okay, they're trying to get vouchers for people for Section 8. And that's going to come with stipulations. And man, they're trying to corner the market, quote unquote. So you Jakes are dependent. But their help is in vain and to no purpose. Therefore have I cried concerning this. Their strength is to sit still. This is Isaiah 31. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many. And a lot of individuals trust in the military of Egypt, which is America. This is spiritually speaking of America. Okay, it says, woe to them they go down to Egypt to help. For help, I should say. Woe means destruction. A lot of people trust in the U.S. military. This is Isaiah 31. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many. And as of late, I've seen a lot of individuals speak on the American military, and a lot of people still believe that America's military is at its peak, and it's not. You know, you got generals that say that this generation is not built for war. And it's true. You know, this generation is self-serving. They're all about themselves. They're all about social media. You know, you got women twerking in the Humvees. You know, you got what's it called? You know, I think you get 2 timeouts in the military a day. So if you have like if you're about to spaz out, or if you don't like something, you can like take a break. They didn't have that before. Okay. But people trust, you know, they go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek Yahweh. And a lot of people, they think this military is going to have their back, that they're going to defend their borders, you know, against enemies, foreign and domestic. You know, they're going to the 29 was it 29 Palms Marines? Okay, they got a chip on their shoulder. They're sending them to LA to quell the protests, that they're going to help out. I mean, a lot of people really trust that America is going to come out on top, and that's not true. You know, you got America helping Israel, and Israel's bombing Iran right now. I mean, you know, World War III, you know, could very much be on the horizon. All hell could be breaking loose this year. I mean, it's going down. And a lot of individuals, they keep with this narrative of Egypt. Okay, and I'm speaking of America. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek Yahweh. Yet he also is wise and will bring evil, and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of the evildoers and against the help of them that work iniquity. And this is the Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is going to bring evil. What does evil mean? A bad time. And will not call back his words. The prophecies is going to come to pass, you know. That's why the Most High lifted up Pharaoh in his heart, just so he could show the world, okay, his power to destroy. And that's that story that when Moses liberated the Egyptians from Israel is very much quoted, is very known. And the other nations, they were afraid when they saw what the Most High Yahweh did. So the Lord's not going to call back his words. It's going to happen again, okay? Yet he also is wise and will bring evil, and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of the evildoers and against the help of them that work iniquity. Now the Egyptians are men and not the Most High, and their horses flesh and not spirit. When Yahweh shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down. They all shall fail together. You try to help America, okay? You know, you know. That's why the scriptures say, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not prevail, roughly paraphrasing. Okay, they're going to fail together. You're not going to be able to stand against Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. You know, no one is going to be able to rise up against, you know, the Lord or what's coming. For thus hath Yahweh spoken unto me, like as the lion and the young lion roaring on his prey, when a multitude of shepherds is called forth against him. He will not be afraid of their voice, nor abase himself for the noise of them. So shall Yahweh of hosts come down to fight for Mount Zion and for the hill thereof. All right, NLT. But this is what Yahweh has told me. When a strong young lion stands growling over a sheep it has killed, it is not frightened by the shouts and noise of a whole crowd of shepherds. In the same way, Yahweh of heaven's armies will come down and fight on Mount Zion, you see? So the Most High, he's not going to worry about what's around him. The Heavenly Father is going to attack his prey. There's nothing, you know, you're not going to be able to stand up against the King of Kings, Lord of Lords. Okay, and it's like a lion that roaring on his prey. Even when a multitude of shepherds is trying to shoo it away, the Most High, nah. Because that third world war, it's going to be abruptly interrupted, by Yahweh Bashim El Shai, and everyone's going to turn and fight against the Lord, and it's not, the Lord is going to devour, man, strategically. It says, as birds flying, so will Yahweh of hosts defend Jerusalem. Defending also he will deliver, and passing over he will preserve it. Right, the chariots are coming, man, to destroy this place. It says what? You know what? I want to get this in Isaiah 19. Lord willing, I can remember to come back to this chapter. Isaiah 19. The burden of Egypt. Behold, Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud. You see? As birds flying, he shall defend Jerusalem. So it's prophesied. The Most High is coming back on a chariot, a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence. You see? Idols will fall. When Yahweh Bashim El Shai cracks those clouds, idols are going to fall, man. You see? That's the power that we're dealing with. And when he cracks the clouds, idols in houses, monuments, and obelisks and stuff are going to fall. There's going to be a visitation on the idols. You see? Behold, Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. You see? You got people mocking the second coming of the Most High, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, and the Holy One of Israel. You see? But their heart is gonna melt in the midst when the Lord comes. People are gonna be shaking in their boots. Everyone's gonna see and behold. All the games are gonna stop. All right, and people are gonna, they're gonna learn the Most High Yahweh Bashim El Shai is who you should have trusted in, not in the spirit of Egypt, not in this oppression, not in this bullshit. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. They shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Yeah, all hell's gonna break loose. You already see the race riots, so quote unquote, that are being kicked off. There's gonna be civil war. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, you see. And I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. Because they're a bunch of warlocks anyway, or spiritual wickedness in high places. These presidents, these politicians, they're demons, man. They truly drink blood, and they're PDF files. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith Yahweh of hosts. You see? So the Yahweh Shai is coming to a city near you. So why trust in Egypt, man? Trusting in Egypt is like trusting in this broken reed. It'll pierce you. Right? A broken reed does not make a good walking stick. And that's what a staff is to walk, to climb, to defend. Right? That's what they used back in the day. They used a staff. This is Isaiah 31:6. Turn ye unto him from whom the children of Israel have deeply revolted. Yeah, turn back to who? The Most High, Yahweh Bashim El Shai. For in that day every man shall cast away his idols of silver and his idols of gold, which your own hands have made unto you for a sin. Yeah, people gonna be throwing away their Marys, their Virgens, their Judas, their Jesus idol. People gonna toss it to the side like, whoa, get rid of this. Hide this, That's the truth. So let's get one more. Excuse me. Let's see what this says. Last week, in preparation for a lesson I was presenting, I studied Ezekiel's proclamation against Egypt. He says that Egypt has been a staff of reed to the house of Israel. Notice the verses for chapter 29. Ezekiel 29, 6 and 7. Let's get that real quick. Ezekiel, and I was looking at the scripture earlier. All the inhabitants of Egypt shall know that I am Yahweh, because they have been a staff of reed to the house of Israel. Right, a staff, right? A walking stick, okay, of reed to the house of Israel. When they took hold of thee by thy hand, thou didst break and rend all their shoulder. And when they leaned upon thee, thou breakest and madest all their loins to be at a stand. Right. And people, they trust too much in America, man, and the philosophies of America. And they don't trust in Yahweh B'Shem El Shai. And these philosophies, this system will destroy you, man. Okay? America is the worst corrupt system in the world. How can you get any help from the government, man? This is rigged. This place is meant to keep you poor, meant to keep you broke, meant to keep you dependent, sick, GMOs, all kinds of falsehood. This is an NLT. When Israel leaned on you, you splintered and broke and stabbed her in the armpit. When she put her weight on you, you gave way and her back was thrown out of joint. Yeah. Yeah, you trust in America, man? Man. They about to take, all these benefits away, man. America's about to become prison planet. Okay? The world about to become a prison planet, starting with America. It's going to be bad here, man. When this devil starts to roll, when the scriptures speak about the enemy coming in like a flood, when these federal agents, these agencies start coming up on those that fear the Lord, that insurrection, Jacob's trouble, when that hits, people are going to be like, damn, I should have listened. They start snatching people out of their house, because they don't want to get that MOTB. Then people are going to want to pray. Then people are going to want to be, where are the men of the Lord at? Okay, but since people think it's so far off, they got time to party and bullshit, and I'll think about it when I get there. All right, we're gonna see, man. Isaiah 36. Wait, let's go back to this. The prophet Isaiah spoke directly to Israel with the same lesson. Isaiah 36 and 6. Lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed, right? On Egypt, whereof if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh king of Egypt to all that trust in him. These devils cannot be trusted. Okay? When they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh. Because they're gonna roll on Jakes, man. And it's been rumored that, on holidays, Thanksgiving, they got all this legislation set in place. I mean, they're militarizing the police. They're going against local governments that oppose them. I mean, everything is set in place. These devils are going to roll on the people, man. Straight up. Whoever don't want to take the MOTB, whoever don't want to bow down, what's this dude? I think there was a sheriff in Florida. He was saying that if you even throw something at the police, they're going to start shooting at you. They're going to kill you. He said, we will kill you. That's what he said, man. That people trust in this staff of this broken reed. People trust in this. They want to lean on this. This will only pierce you. It says, reeds are common along the banks of the Nile and the canals that take water to the fields needing it. The photo below shows a broken reed. There is a great lesson in this for each of us to avoid, leaning on promises and systems that will not hold us up in time of need. You see that? These systems, this government, America, it will never hold you up. You're wasting your time. It's vain. It's vanity. You think that good old Sam, that good old American, spirit is gonna be holded up in that day? You're gonna see there's a lot of division. There's a lot of confusion, a lot of division. People go, these military, they're not gonna know whether to arrest you or to or what. They don't know what to do. But some of them are too far gone. And a lot of these people, a lot of these law enforcement, military, they robots, man. They don't see that they're arresting their own people. Okay, so Lord willing, you were edified. Okay, this is something that I wanted to speak on. Egypt was a broken staff of reed, right? Yeah. America is symbolically Egypt in the scripture. So, Lord willing, you were edified. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, the rule well, and a sincere salutation to you, Akim, you Aqua, to believe in all sincerity.